Hi guys, so my name is Vaibhav and we'll be discussing everything about drones, drone deliveries in India and across the world. So we'll get started with the first piece of news. So recently, MITI has unveiled a NIDAR 2.0 to power the drones with indigenous chips. So basically, NIDAR 2.0 is basically a development in collaboration with Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and Drone Federation of India. So basically, Drone Federation of India and Ministry of Electronics they together came to make this program of sovereign drones using sovereign chips, and it's named as NIDER 2.0. The program aims to design and manufacture indigenously built drones and flight controllers that use only Indian microchip Vega as the power source. So this NIDER, the meaning of the NIDER is National Innovation Challenge for Drone Application and Research. So if we look at all the programs that are going around for promoting the drone indigenization and the self-reliance over drone process, so we have Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India, minimizing the reliance of the drones on imported parts, particularly the flight controllers and microprocessors. India Semiconductor Mission, fostering the implementation of domestic semiconductor design such as Vega processor. And finally, design linked incentive, promoting the development of semiconductor designs and manufacturing through financial and infrastructure assistance to domestic manufacturers. So, design linked incentive, Indian Semiconductor Mission, which is focusing on designs like Vega processor and Atmanirbhar Bharat, all three coming together for the self reliance. And so core challenges basically autonomous swarm drones for disaster relief. So the challenge this NIDR 2.0 which has come out with has has articulated these challenges, this competition in which the companies can participate. So this National Innovation Challenge for Drone Application and Research. And the challenges are as following. The first is the autonomous swarm drones for disaster relief. So basically, you must have heard about swarm drones too in a warlike situation, but this challenge talks about swarm drones where they are coordinating with each other. They're searching for any human being who's caught in any disaster kind of situation and then activating the responders or help for that particular person. So that's the first challenge, autonomous swarm drones for disaster relief, obviously with onboard AI, and it should also be able to drop deliveries if a survivor is found, like a medical supply. Second is GPS denied drones for indoor industrial inspection. So GPS denied drones or GPS free drones or GPS independent drones are talk of the town, because in a defense like situation you will not want to be dependent upon satellites which are belonging to another country, be it USA or Russia. So it can be GPS or GLONASS or even Starlink. So how drones can basically operate and maneuver without the GPS, or if GPS is jammed using jammers, that is definitely coming up in a lot of places, and that is one of the challenges which are listed out here. The price pool is 65 lakh and beyond. So yep, guys, if anybody is interested, they can participate in NIDR 2.0. Uh, yeah, which is focusing on this indigenous processor called Vega. Uh, Apart from this, guys, I mean, Russia Ukraine thing is going pretty ballistic, and Russia and so, anyways, a lot of updates here, but I'll probably skip this one. Okay, I also went through interview of one of the persons, and where he talks about that army's drones power is lethal and India is pretty much doing good. And this person name is basically he was referred to as drone man of India by previous president Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam Azad, and he runs a drone tech company. His name is Milind Raj, who basically builds specific drones for Indian Army at 15,000 feet in Ladakh and Siachen, training Agniveers. Agniveers are obviously the newly recruited army young guys and working in DRDO and NIA. It is the podcast with Aditi Prasad, he tells about the drone doctrine has evolved past post Operation Sindoor and why he thinks that India's military drone capability is above 8.5 out of 10, and the FPV drone reshaping frontline warfare the way they have in Russia and Ukraine. Hmm. Well, the next piece of news, guys, is all right. The next is about Metanet, and that is tapping Beeline to accelerate US drone delivery expansion. And we are hearing a lot about US drone delivery, be it through Mana in the Tulsa County, be it through Zipline, or be it through Metanet and Beeline. So the company has announced a new partnership with Beeline UAS, Unmanned Aerial Systems, adding another FAA Part 135 operator to help scale drones. Basically, I guess Beeline is the operator in this scenario, and they are adding this operator under FAA Part 135. What if you guys are wondering what it is? I'll make a video about FAA Federal Aviation Part 135. Under this agreement, Beeline UAS will operate Meternet's drone. So Meternet is a drone company, and they are going for an operator called Beeline in the key US market using its own FAA Part 135 aircraft carrier. And so I think this model is coming out where a drone manufacturer or a drone maker is basically is not going to run their own fleet. Rather, it will onboard operators like a aircraft manufacturer sells its airplanes to the airlines. So that is coming out, though. From what I hear about the Mana drone company, they run their own fleet or zipline. And most important part is that the drone should be certified under FAA Part 135. Company will initially focus on expanding beyond visual line of sight drone operations in two of California's busiest regions, San Francisco Bay Area and Los Angeles metropolitan area. So they have chosen California's two busiest region, San Francisco and Los Angeles. Long-term success in drone delivery will depend not only on advanced aircraft but also on the ability to safely manage and scale large autonomous fleets through a combination of technology and experienced operating partners. Beeline specializes in the okay. So what are the specialization of Beeline? Beeline specializes in the operational side of commercial drone programs. The company provides regulatory expertise and flight operations under FAA Part 135, and there are companies which are coming out which are specializing in the operations area, whereas there are companies which are specializing in the manufacturing and the technology like Metronet, and both are partnering to expand the commercial services together. The partnership is part of Metronet's broader strategy to grow through multiple certified operators instead of relying on a single delivery network. Uh, I'm not sure which model is going to succeed where a single full vertical stack company or a full integrated company end to end from hardware, software, and fleet integrated, or it is going to be, dominated in sections where the drone manufacturing, probably software layer in between, and then finally the drone operations, and probably even the platform that is being used to deliver these items. We have also heard Walmart basically partnering with Zipline or somebody else around drone delivery. So about Metanet, guys, says its platform has already supported more than 60,000 commercial drone flight. Company which became the first drone manufacturer to receive both FAA type certification and production certification has spent more than a decade building commercial delivery operations. So they have spent pretty good time, and they probably were the first company to get both FAA type certification and production certification. So just give me a minute. Yep. All right, guys. So just give me a minute. Yep. All right. So Next news, as I said, there are a lot of deliveries and a lot of companies coming out. Mana, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, becomes the first to receive this SAIL 3 mark certification. SAIL, SAIL 3, and it's a European standard, pretty strict standard. Yep, in on and they have released in media that they are proud to announce that Mana has become the first company to receive a SAIL 3 mark certificate from a UK Civil Aviation Authority. SAIL 3 mark certificate relates to the aircraft itself, confirming that it has been independently validated against the relevant technical requirements. And they mentioned they would like to thank the UK Civil Aviation Authority for their professionalism, technical expertise, and constructive engagement throughout the assessment process. UK's first SAIL 3 mark certificate represents more than a technical certification. Next news, let's come back to India. DGCA notice on unauthorized drone delivery is a news call for permanent BBLOS. For framework, DGCA is notifying a lot of drone flyers that don't fly. It is a punishable offense. But then it has kicked off a dialogue of we need a proper framework. We need a proper regulatory framework for beyond visual line of sight drone flight. The aviation regulator on July 4 notice reiterated that no entity can undertake beyond visual line of sight operations unless authorized. It cautioned operators and service providers against conducting or advertising such flights without approval. The notice comes amid growing interest in deploying drones for logistics, healthcare, and e commerce. Next is about Amazon, and it's basically from the Papillion, and they are welcoming Prime Air. So Amazon is running its own network of drones called Prime Air. Amazon announced yesterday, not yesterday, basically a few days back, that Prime Air is coming to Papillion. The Amazon Fulfillment Center will use Amazon's drone delivery service starting later this summer. Prime Air can deliver packages 5 pounds, which is somewhere around 2.5 kgs, or less within 7.5 mile radius, which is pretty good actually, 15-16 kilometers radius fulfillment center. So that's because normally what I heard in drone delivery space is 2 kilometers and 3 kilometers. This is talking about more than 15 kilometers radius. So yeah, this Amazon is also jumping into drone delivery and trying all the proof of concepts. Um, then there is a report, guys, by Markets and Markets, which talks about the global delivery drone market size, which was valued at USD 2.88 billion in 2026, is projected to reach USD 7.65 billion in 2031, growing at a compounded annual growth rate of 21.6%. Growth of this segment is supported by increasing use of drone delivery in e-commerce, healthcare, logistic applications. The government support for commercial drone operations, improvements in drone technology, and growing need for fast last mile delivery are contributing to growth phase. So yep, that's a good report, guys. Drone delivery cuts TB diagnosis time from 15 to 5 days in Telangana. And it's a study by ICMR. It is Indian Council for Medical Research, guys. Study found drone transport of TB samples cut diagnosis time from 15 to 5 days, and reduced patients' cost also from 9,000 rupees to 91 rupees, improving access to testing in remote areas. Because in remote areas, you have to collect the sample, travel all the way back to laboratory. The lab may be very far away, the samples may get ruined, the results will be later, the person will be suffering. So drone delivery for medical reasons, for medical sample collection, is definitely a good use case. And for thousands of TB patients living in remote villages, reaching a diagnostic center often means traveling long distances, losing daily wages, and delaying treatment. So, average out of pocket expenditure fell from about 9,451 under conventional system to 91 when the drones were used to transport sputum samples. And the study was carried out along with collaboration with AIMS BV Nagar and the District Tuberculosis Office under National TB Elimination Program, NTEP, National TB Elimination Program. So basically, what happens is there are primary healthcare centers all around, and they are basically they collect the samples, and this is carried out in Telangana, and I think Telangana is pretty uh, ahead of the curve when it comes to drone delivery adoption. India continues to count the world's largest burden of tuberculosis. Apart from shortening turnaround time, the drone-based model also reduced indirect costs borne by patients, including travel expenditure and wage losses resulting from repeated visits to health facilities. And the next is from your story about a company called Armory, which first built a counter drone system in 6 months and now it has a 100 crore defense order. This is the Gurugram based AI powered system Surge detects, tracks, and neutralizes rogue drones and has become one of the youngest Indian defense firms to win a nine-figure Ministry of Defense contract. Company name is Armory, and affordable drones have become one of the defining weapons as we speak, guys. The war dynamics are shifting towards making cheaper and cheaper drones because what has come to light in light of various conflicts going on is that a large number of cheap drones can really neutralize one big expensive asset. So the game has become more about the numbers than making one big quality equipment. And when it comes to the game of attrition, it's all about making the war expensive for the other party. Affordable drones have become one of the defining weapons, and stopping them has now become a substantial problem. A rogue quadcopter costing a few $100s can threaten a base, a border post, or a power plant. An Armory in Gurugram based startup in 2024. Samaritan operating system. They have a defense operating system Armory built in house, which companies say scans environment million times per second. Samaritan operating system learns, adapts, and evolves just like the threats it counters. Getting there was not smooth. The team has been candid about the prototyping grind, from semiconductor circuit board delays that pushed it to manufacture in house to the difficulty of writing a software toolchain with a few existing models to build on. And yes, guys, apart from this, I think, yeah, I think I'll just stop here today. And that's it. Thank you.